to Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here with another episode of Free Pattern Friday. And what we're doing today is called, either it's called Cat's Cradle or Doves in the Window. The Barbara Bachman Encyclopedia calls it both, but I'm going to call it Cat's Cradle because that's probably easiest for me to remember. But first, before we do anything else, let's do our shout out, because the shout out's kind of important. Pat Sloan, if you guys haven't seen or checked out Pat Sloan, she's the voice of quilting. You know, she ran like a radio show and all sorts of stuff, and she is just does some amazing stuff. She talks about all the different things that are happening in the quilting community, and she's lots of fun. So go check her out. Her YouTube channel is going to be in the show notes below. And like I say, she's lots of fun. Tell her Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. That would be so helpful for me. Also, you're going to find in those show notes or that description box, right, all the other things I'm talking about right now. Quilt bingo, spring fling with strings, say that 9 times fast, is well underway, and quilt bingo will happen about 3 weeks after it wraps up. So I haven't got a start date yet, but we'll get there, and when we do, we'll start telling you when the quilt bingo is coming, and it's a skill builder. It's going to be lots of fun, and we're going to have some fun. Everybody's quilts are going to look a little different, so it's going to be a beginner, intermediate, and an expert level. So we don't want to scare away the beginners with hard blocks, right? So also you're going to find the Zoom sew dates. The Zoom sew dates are from now until the end of the year. We are having so much fun with that Zoom sew date. I try and pick something easy to sew so that I can chat with everybody and we all have a great time, and I get so much done by the end of the day. It's amazing. 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Oh, and the So Yeah community, like in Las Vegas, they're having their annual charity drive for Alaska. So if you guys want to participate in that, because the people that have participated the last couple of years that I've talked to, they had such a great time. So you go to their YouTube channel or their website, they're going to have more information. So I know nothing more about that they're having one, and I'm so excited to advertise it for them. Share, like, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you don't miss content. Also, making comments helps push our analytics forward so we can continue bringing you fun, free patterns like Cat's Cradle. Also, we have a Facebook group. We are having so much fun in there. There is a virtual sewing room hosted by Discord for the Facebook group members. So if you're part of the Facebook community, please come join. We have lots of things. Just make sure you answer all the questions that the people are the group asks of you, and then you get in and you just have you start sharing pictures, and there's a whole bunch of different community chats. We do fabric exchanges by country to save on postage, and yeah, we just have a lot of fun in there. Also, I speak for free about elements of design. I talk about working with scrap fabric, and I talk about making charity quilts. So if you guys if your group or guild is looking for a speaker like that, please get a hold of me through either the Facebook group or the About tab has my email address. Also, if you guys find a shout out that is quilting related, pass it on to me through either the Facebook group or the email, because this way several eyes are looking for new channels, and we are happy to give everybody a shout out. Okay, I think we're done. Let's get to the sewing. Okay, so here we are at the sewing machine. Now, sometimes this block appears with a half square triangle where these squares are, right, like all in here, right, like they appear, and they're like a half square triangle of dark and then light in the middle. And you know, like sometimes just something as subtle as that will change the name of the block. But basically, once you get, you know, this is a 2-inch square, so this will all fit together really quite well. Now, the first thing we're going to do is the harder stuff first, because, well, that's important that we do the harder stuff first. We're going to start on the far corner, and we are just, okay, I've got the wrong foot. Let's change feet. It's not one of my videos about changing a foot. I have a 1/4 inch foot for my 301A. They just got off Amazon, and I'm very, very pleased with it. It works well, and it does what it's supposed to do. So I'm just going to start sewing on these. Now, I cut mine with a 1/4 inch, what do they call it? No, the easy angle ruler. And this way I have a flat edge, But if you are just cutting them traditionally, you would line up that square edge here and sew them, and that's going to give you that perfect 1/4 inch when you meet them up, match them up. And we'll do this just like so. Just take your time. Sometimes it gets just, oh, let's just not lay there. Let's not do that. We're not doing it that way. Yeah, we are. You have to be kind of firm with them sometimes that they're going to line up. Yeah. This is a good one, even if you're a beginner, because it teaches you so many things. Now, I'm just going to press this open with my fingernail, right? And I'm going to take the next one, and the next one gets lined up just like this, and I'm going to make sure that this corner here lines up, right? This corner here lines up, and we are just moving that under like so. You want to sew all of these the same way in a sense, and what I'm trying to tell you, I guess. There we go, and there, line that up just perfectly. It's lining up perfectly. This is always such a nice block. People, for some reason, don't like doing this block because they, oh, it's so hard. No. No, you just take it and break it down. If I was doing, you know, a twin size quilt, I'd have 35 of these stacked up, of these, and I would do it all scrappy, or, you know, whatever I was going to do with it. I would do it scrappy, but I would do all of the same pieces first, all the way down to the bottom. Right? That's how I would manage this. I would put all 35 stacked up, and then I would do all of this little triangle first, right? Because that way everything comes out the right way, the right size. Okay, now the next piece we're going to sew on is this one. Here we go, and we are just going to flip that around like so, and we have the point that we have to match is on top, which is perfect because now we can match our point instead of cutting it off. There, I'm just going to show you that again. Okay, so this gets pressed out. Now we should have a 1/4 inch between this point here and this point here, right? So it should work. So we're just going to line this up along the point here, flip it over, and now as we're sewing, we don't cut off that point right there. And you see that? Do I have a pencil? Yes, I do. Do I have a pencil that works? Is another question. So let me just draw this line a little darker. So here, X marks, no, it's not going to work. Okay, X marks the spot. Here is the X. So that is the point that we don't want to cut off, right? Okay, focus a bit. Okay, so you want to sew it with this side up. Okay, and we'll just get her in there, because this block relies on crisp, beautiful points. You know, that's what makes it such a beautiful block to work with, right? You've got all those gorgeous points, and you can make them all. Just take your time, right? Okay, so line this up just like so. There we go. Get all lined up there. Come on, go in. There we go. There. Okay. Now, this last one. Perfectly lined up. Well, that was fast. And now we get to see if we've cut off any of our points, which we shouldn't have because we sewed it on the right side. So there is the first one. And I'm just going to clip off this one lone dog ear and put it up here where it belongs. And There. Oh, okay, just like that. Hang on, I got another dog ear here. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I'm gonna get all the dog ears off. I do not want the dog ears to cause extra bulk in the block. So I'm just gonna trim them off now. There. So, now I trim a little steeper just because I find it helps, you know, that the seam allowances, you've got enough seam allowance on your point to make that work. Oops, this goes the other way. It goes the other way. Okay, so now we're going to start adding the bigger blocks on. Okay, and we just start one at a time. We go through the same thing. There we go. There. Now I'm just going to clip off these. Oops. Just like so. Do a quick finger press across. There we go. There. Just like that. And now we're going to add this one. Yeah. This is such a pretty block. There we go. Line it up. Now, let me show you how I'm lining this thing up. I'm lining this up from this corner, right? Just the same way we did the other one, right? I'm lining it up on that corner, and because I cut it with an easy angle ruler, the top of this block should match perfectly with this, and it does. So here we go. I'm just going to flip this one out like so and do this right here, and I'm going to line it up here first. There we go. And uh-oh, yeah, no, I got it. I got it. It's all good. I started thinking, gee whiz, am I sewing this the right way? Okay, so now, there. There. Okay. This is one of those blocks that I just love this block. Always works out so nice. Okay. Well, okay. Well, I got it. You got it sewn on backwards. Okay. Well, something happened here. Oh well, I'll get it sewn up. It'll be fine. And now, okay. Now, did I sew that one crazy? I hope not, because that would be awkward. You know what? There's real life sewing people. You never know. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and everything's going your way and life is just wonderful. Now that's perfect. Okay. So we're going to just finger press that one out and lay it down here like so. Okay. Finger press this one. Just nice. And here we go. There. Nice. Nicely done. Okay, so this one comes off last. Oh, or I can just sew a thing together and get it off, and you can see what I'm working with now, right? And you see it's all sewn the right way. All these little half square, white on white half square triangles are going to end up in crumb blocks at some point. But I have to sew them all together first. There we go. So here we are. Now we're going to take this and we are lining it up. And I'm flipping it over because I want to make sure I make this point. Now this point, let me get my pen back. I'm just going to show you where X marks the spot. And that's basically where your stitches overlap. Can you see that? Oh, come on, focus. Hello, focus. Nope, it's refusing to focus. It's right there. Okay, now you can see it. Okay, it's right there. So you don't want to cut that point off. So you're just going to line this up, just like so. And make sure that you're sewing with this point up so you can see it. If you can see that point, chances are you don't get to cut it off. Which is a really nice thing about this block. We don't get to cut them all off. There we go. Here. There we go. Just line all of this up. And you run the next one through. Yeah, I've seen quilts made entirely out of this block. And they were all scrappy, and oh my gosh, were they beautiful. Because it's a good scrap buster, right? You know, you cut your largest pieces first. You know, you do that cutting first. Hang on, let me just get this one finger pressed and out of the way. There we go. And I'm going to trim off the little dog ears while it's here. Because otherwise I'm going to be fighting dog ears. There we go. Just like that. Where it goes in. And this one, now flip it over. There. Okay, you know, line up this edge first. There we go. There. There we go. And oh, nice. Nice, nice, nice. So the camping plans with the grandkids are all up in the air because, you know, life changes and happens and everybody is running different directions, it seems, this summer. And it's going to be fine, but I mean, we're going to get to see the grandkids, but it's like, yeah, it's busy. Our household is very, very busy now with all the summer stuff coming up. And yeah, it may end up being a bit of a challenge, but we're hoping to see them a few times. And yeah, I should, we're also going to try and take some summer holidays here too, but I don't know how long if that's going to go or not. Hang on. There we go. Oh yeah, get rid of the dog ears. There. I don't have to worry about it. This purple that I'm using has been in my stash for decades. Oh my gosh. It's been in my stash for decades. And I have like 2 yards of it. There we go. And I'm just going to run through another leader ender here right away to get that out of the way. So you can see it where it's all together. Here. I have so many of those little white Hester triangles. It's like, oh, oy, oy. Alright. There. Okay. Now, I'm just going to quick finger press. Now we're going to start sewing this block together. Now this block comes together just like a 4-patch. 4 patches, you know, the easiest thing, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to sew it like this along this edge. Now, you have a nesting point right here that you want to make sure nests. So you want to hold it there and make sure that you get this perfect nesting going on, and then you want to match up the bottom with the top one and make sure you're sewing so that it lies flat. So you don't want to be flipping these seams because that would be bad. And So here we run the other way. And I'm going to try and make sure I nest that seam absolutely perfectly. And all of these seams should lay perfectly flat as well. See, now this just comes together like a charm, doesn't it? Okay. There's lots of things once you master, if you're a beginner and you master those half square triangles, so many cool blocks you can make. Now you can see here I've done it the right way. So now I'm going to flip it over, and again I'm going to hold it. I'm gonna take the board right out of here. It's in my way now. So I'm going to nest these seams. Okay. And, whoops, come on, get in there. Get a feeding. Okay. And, there we go. Make sure. Okay. I am just basically pushing this the way it's going to go. And once you're like a stitch over, you know, you can just drop your needle and then you fiddle and fix the next nesting, right? So there it is, right there. Okay. Now you run another little triangle through with some stuff on it. There we go. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to show you. You've got it from the back. Now, two of the seams, one goes this way and one goes that way. So you want to split this like this. Just pop that seam open and then finger press these in the right direction. Now that's going to make sure that your center lies really, really flat and life is very good. So let's get to our ta-da moment as soon as I give this thing a good press, and you'll see how lovely it is. Okay, here's our cute little cat's cradle all ironed up. And you can see that the purples are kind of in that same range, but they're dark. And I did pick, you know, a more beigey, you know, buttery, low volume to go with this. So I am making a baby quilt at the end of this. So you can take this block and make a quilt just all of your own, because it's simple enough to do, or you can kind of sew along with me with this baby quilt for charity. But I thought, well, we'll give this one a try and we'll see how much you guys like it. Okay, so I hope your week is very blissful and you're very, very happy in your life and everything's going grand for you. So you guys take care until we see each other again. Okay, bye! My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life and, you know, your quarter inch is perfect. Everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your lives and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.